Good morning and welcome everybody, or happy day to you if it's not morning for you anymore, or it hasn't been for hours. Um, Today I've got more infusion stuff to do. Did a little bit of progress offline. I need to grab some of these things so I can make some of these things so I can do some blood magic and expand on what that thing's doing by putting some altars on it. But first things first, grab some stuff. So we need some netherrack. And how much netherrack do we need? We need 29 times 24 divided by 1. That's easy. 29, 24. Code division required. Hi, system. How are you today? We need 696 netherrack, which is how many stacks? That's almost 11 stacks. That's a lot of netherrack. Good thing my... Well, let's say I'm a collector. I was going to say something else, but it has some negative connotations, and who needs negative connotations in stream? Alright. I'm sorry to hear about the head cold. I hope it goes away very quickly. I'm glad to hear you're great. Before I just jump into infusion crafting, is there anything you're curious at seeing? I mean, I do have baby's first little AE system powered by dragon eggs. It doesn't have any of my fluids in it, but it has almost all the non-B items, so it's got a lot of stuff in it. I did decide to put the pearls over here because, that would fill up a lot of space. And also, hello lurkers, and I'm glad you're here. Have a nice lurk. These two we're going to have other places. This we have other places. This we have other places. So the other elements that we need to do this infusion crafting are somewhere else. So we'll head that way. Yeah, the soap farm isn't that complex. Do you want to see any details? Because I'm happy to show it. I thought about making a schematic and told you about that, and then I promptly forgot because I can't bookmark, make a schematic, and send it to system. I probably should be able to, but that isn't something that I can bookmark, and I didn't make a sign, so very much apologies. But the soap farm, these machines over here are just doing minor processing. This one, well, let's look at the filters. It'll tell us the whole story. Yeah, it takes honeycombs and it pulls out the resources from honeycombs and sends them along because I want to say I think I need beeswax, and so beeswax is stored here and then sent on to doing beeswaxy things over there. Okay. And yeah, the teleposers are amazing. These little guys, they do use some blood magic, and that's part of the reason I'm spending so much time preparing blood magic in the void world. I would say that it doesn't really affect my system when I use the teleposers, but I'm sure it has some effect. So yeah, I think it uses 10,000 LP to use the teleposer, and I think before I could click, it had already regenerated 9,000 and change. So it moves along really quickly. As far as when you've got the Well of Suffering ritual going and plenty of Coven Witches in there doing their Coven Witch thing. Alright, how much? 24 Fammies. I think each squid is 3? Let's look. Yeah, each squid is 3, so 29, 24 divided by 3. And then divide that by 64 to see how many stacks of squid I need. So I need 4 stacks of squid. I don't know that I have that. Maybe I do. Maybe there's some more hiding in here. Oh, good. Yeah, I've got plenty. And then we'll cook this squid up so that it can be made into that essence easily. Then we need some blaze powder for magic and some stone for Terra and some redstone for the Potentia. Yes, it is. The rituals are really fun. And every time I'm near my house and my bed, it feels like there's a witch that tries to jump scare me. Of course, as soon as I say that, she's not going to do it. But I'll turn around in 5 minutes and there she'll be, if I'm near this part of my base. And I'm not sure if it's the bed that triggers her coming around, or if it's the witchery altar. She's definitely a witchery witch. So I think something makes it so she decides to show up. And then I end up with her in my lassos. And then I take her and drop her off with the rest of the Coven Witches. Which is going to be on that pyramid in the future. But currently, it's here. And then we just have lots of copies of her because the game keeps giving me more and more. Although this is not a quiet place to be, so let's leave. So we don't need all that jazz. The blazes will remain there or be turned off and disabled and ignored. Because they're kind of the old way of doing things. They were the first way I came up with things. Then watching a Neurotic Goose video on his Garden of Grind playthrough keyed me to the fact that witches are much easier, and so I've been using them. So we were counting squid. We did squid. We were counting Infernius. We did Infernius through the Netherrack. We were going to count Potentia. We need 18, and each redstone provides... Let's see. I want to say 2. Yep, they provide 2 each. So... only times 18, and it's divided by 2 instead. 261 redstone, 261 divided by 64 is just over 4 stacks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little bit. I won't have a problem with having a little extra redstone because I'll just drop it in this system when I'm done. Alright. Precantatio comes from blaze powder. Blaze powder is made back at Skybase, and that's not the way to get there. Alright, let's look at how much of that we're going to need. We need 12 times 29 and divided by 4. 87, so 2 stacks roughly. I know it's less than 2 stacks, but once again I can just store the leftovers in applied energistics and that'll be fine. And then Terra. Now we're going to get some Terra from other stuff, but I'm okay with picking up enough stone for the whole thing because I can just put it right back. 4 Terra each. Each stone provides 2, so equals 29 times 4 divided by 2 is 1 stack roughly of stone. I don't have stone in applied energistics because I have a lot of it. I have a lot of stone. Not as much as I have some other things, but that's a lot of stone. Okay, that's cleaned up. I decided to show off some blood pick or bound pick mining and filled up a couple of chests with a lot of stuff, So now I'm having to pay the piper and clean those up. But that's good. Alright, to the infusion crafting. And yes, it's going to take some time to do it this morning to do some infusion crafting. And then afterwards there will be some not infusion crafting stuff going on. I'll actually build some altars. I do want to have a few more files to store the extra essences in. I'm guessing. Yeah, the bound pick is really cool. The problem with it is that I've heard it uses 150k life essence to use. I think by my own use of it, it uses 100k. I don't know where that number is stored, and I'm not looking for it, so it uses a lot of life essence, and if you don't have the Well of Suffering with the requisite volunteers, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. Hello there. Is it Keister? I'm looking at the name and I'm just having a complete brain fart. So I apologize. If you can type out the pronunciation that you'd like to use. Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. Goodbye. That's too bad. Everybody have a good laugh at the bot, I suppose. That's what they're there for, right? Because, you know, I want the real viewers that they're going to provide. He says with much sarcasm. Hi, Silverfish. How are you? Nice to see you. Please don't do the viewer bot thing. How's it going? How's it going? Just a few more rounds, and then I'll have this going. I did know. There are some people that are really insistent on telling me that they go places and they act like they should be able to tell people whatever they feel like, and they upset people. It's really kind of unfortunate. I wonder about the effect of how that works. I wonder about the mindset of the people who actually employ those services, because I can't imagine it's more than like a small fraction of a percentage of streamers who actually utilize that. So I would hope it would be a self-correcting problem, but it's apparently not. It seems that there has to be people using it because they keep advertising it. Yeah, I'm glad to see you in a stream. If there's anything that you'd like to see shown off, I'd be happy to show it off. Right now I'm working on some of the blood magic mod stuff. I'm working on making a new altar in the Void World. The reason I'm moving everything to the Void World is for server performance. It's kind of unfortunate that this mod pack really hammers the servers, but it does. I need to clean up from my last mess. What was I thinking? That's a lot of extra. But I use these glass files to keep track of the remainders of other things, so that I don't have to spend a bunch of time turning them into crystals and then storing them as crystals and further processing. All right, starting with the fammies. Oh, which we left the squid behind. Let's go pick up our squid. Our cooked squid. All right. For some reason, I was thinking that the teleposers, when they teleported you, would make a noise. But apparently I'm a little crazy there. Also, why didn't Siri bot catch that? Is Siri here? One moment, please. I'm going to have to look into that later. It appears that SiriBot is not here. Okay. Fammies. Lots of fammies. 24 times the 29. That's not the text box I need. We're going to need a bunch of fammies. That's over 10 stacks. Yeah, that's 11 of these warded jars worth of fammies. And then in addition to that, these produce a bunch of the... I'm just going to have a ton of that hunger stuff. Is that... Let's see here. NEI, thom. No. Thom. NEI. It is corpus, and I've probably already got 32 of them. Well, I suppose I'm going to have more than 32 soon. Although, I think I can use those on my other machine, on my soap making machine. So maybe that's not too terrible. Grab some fuel. There's 2 other elements to these. Yep. So we'll need 2 additional warded jars. And then we will get the files ready. That was not expected. Get those going, get those going. Label these jars. We want this. We have to deal with these. That's okay. I didn't bookmark the Alimentum, and I should have, and I didn't make it because I didn't bookmark it. I want to make a lot of this. Let's say we'll make a lot. So off stream, I will make enough Alimentum that the next time I want to do infusion crafting, I'm not sitting here waiting on the charcoal fuel. It'll have the more effective fuel in there. Let's put on the appropriate hat. And yes, I know I can get the Thaumcraft hat effect in the nanosuit helmet. I just haven't done it yet. And I did see chat move, and I will read it in just a moment. Hey there, ASCII. Bad streamer is me. Move chat more. Yes. Let's talk about chat. System, the guy you see in here, he's a pretty awesome streamer as far as I'm concerned, and we do a bit of not really playing together so much as just like helping each other. He's helped me build practically everything that I've built that looks even remotely decent. And I help him with some other stuff like keeping a server up that's like no work at all. So go ahead and follow him. And if you have some time, go ahead and watch some of his streams. He's really fun to watch. That's my opinion. Should be yours too, but I won't hold you to it. Later on, I will probably shout out some other people, but I like to shout out people slowly, not all on top of each other. But yeah, if you've got some time and you're curious at all about somebody who plays Gregtech that's not super slow like me, 2,000 plus hours in, and still in EV, go ahead and watch some system. Let's see here. We're looking for FAMIs. These can just stockpile. Fill up the jars. Yeah. I'll probably say more on that a little later. But it's true. You are absolutely correct, system. And if you can say so, ASCII has a really good eye for aesthetics too. That's a 100% accurate statement that I will wholeheartedly get behind. Now I just have to remember what I've said I'm going to do and actually do it, because I want to do it. I want to give everybody a little bit of time on their own and not just bunch things up, if that seems at all understandable. And I think relatively soon I'll be putting all this into applied energistics, and it will be relatively easy to just keep it. Although I think this is going to be quite a bit of essence. I'm not really certain. I don't know if applied energistics reduces the percentages or stores it more compressed or what have you. But if I do get this all stored in applied energistics, that will mean that I have a lot of free files, which will be nice. The alchemy components for Blood Magic, if you look down in their components, they end up using files up, and they don't return them, annoyingly. And I guess that's a question I have for you, Silverfish. Do you stream as well? I probably should just look up the answer, but I'm streaming, and that means I'm lazy, I guess. Although I might be lazy, usually. That might be a common thing for me. Gotta keep these fueled and in the calamari, and then gotta keep these empty enough that they don't overfill. And then you need all this essence in order to do the crafting that I want to do soon. These and the ritual stones and the master ritual stone. A bunch of these components require this infusion crafting, which is a bit aggravating, and at the same time, it seems like a reasonable way to gate you to progressing through these mods, because, I mean, what I'm going to be making in here soon is going to power all my teleporting, is going to power crazy mining speeds. It probably has other uses that I don't know about, because I play the pack kind of blind. Then again, hey, who knows? But yeah, you invest a bunch of time into this slow crafting and you end up with really powerful abilities as a result. Got a lot of Fabrico. I don't know what I'm going to end up using it for. Get these fires burning again. I need an automated method that will determine when these have no more essence in them and then feed them a coal. Unfortunately, I don't have any idea how that would work. But it sounds fun. And I do wish this was a less manual process. I think there's a better version of these furnaces I've seen in the either the quest book or more likely the Thaumonomicon. I might need to research that. It probably is going to have a bunch of warp associated with it, but when you have a gigantic soap machine, that's just a little bit of time and that warp will go away, which is nice. Using up all this calamari, but not eating it myself. I'll have some canned cheeseburger or whatever that was. Actually, let's pick up that corpus. And we'll take it with us to the... Well, that's a nice thing to see. All that Infernius means I won't have to cook it down from Netherrack. Get these going again. And then we'll store this in my going to put it away soon backpack. That soon is maybe not nearly as soon as it would be nice, but eventually I'll store all that stuff in that backpack somewhere useful. Most of it's probably going to go in the AE system. If I've got some that's going to be stone or cobblestone or something like that, I'll put it in the super chests that I've got for that stuff. Four down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to go because we wanted 11 total. 4 at 11 is like 36%, I think. I suppose I could look at the Thaumcraft quests and see if I can figure out what I was talking about earlier. That'd be good, knowing what I'm talking about. Unlikely, but it'd be good. What just happened? Wow. Because that's what I wanted to do. Alright. Quests. There's going to be a better essence smelter, maybe? Furnace? Automated warp removal sounds fun. I have no idea. Not this quest page, maybe? So, back up, and down, and novice? Alright. So... there's the essence cooking there. I don't see anything that's going to be more of what I want. So, I don't know. Wow. That looks like fun. I'm almost done. And I've let these run out of fuel. Dang it. At least I didn't let them run out of calamari. There's something called the thaumium alchemical furnace, but I haven't used it before. Alright, let's take a look. Advanced alchemical furnace, maybe? Well, that doesn't look too bad. I need to dig into some Thaumcraft books and figure out what that's all about. Oh no. 13. Alright, let's try that again. Split those up. Okay. So what does... yeah, that doesn't take too much at all. I should research that and figure it out. It probably is just a high-speed version of this, or maybe a more fuel effective or something. Don't want these to overflow because then the easy system will become a more challenging system to utilize. In other words, the lazy guy streaming wouldn't be able to easily move these around and store them and everything else that I'm doing. Alright. We'll get these some fuel going in just a second. If I had this area chunk loaded, I'd go grab my Thaumonomicon and probably overflow these. But I don't have this area chunk loaded. The new Thaumcraft area, which I also plan on putting in the void, of course, will be chunk loaded. I think I'm going to make it look like a crucible on the outside that's about 49 blocks by 49 blocks. That's my hope. With a niter underneath, maybe. I was talking about that yesterday. It sounds like a fun plan. Just need, the rest of the month to implement that, maybe. And maybe more than that, even, because I'm not exactly a fast. I'm not speed running the pack. Let's put it that way. And yeah, a bunch of the stuff in your pack's probably going to have better, newer, more fancier names than what my pack's got, because I'm using the old stuff. And most people are using the brand new stuff. But I've got a plan on that front. Because in 5 years or so, when you guys have completed the pack 2 or 3 times, I'm going to be completing the pack for the first time. And I'm going to be starting the new pack, which might be like version 4.0. And from my perspective, it'll be a completely new game. And you guys will have been playing what you feel like is the same game the whole time. So I get a free game out of it by being slow. I do, and it's an EV disassembler, which is nice. Although I suppose I could push really hard and have an IV disassembler. That would just chew the power up. I'm kind of surprised they didn't make the disassembler a multi-block. Maybe they will in the future. Maybe there'll be a disassembler multi-block that, requires some special material to disassemble things, and that's why they took out the single blocks. And yeah, in addition to having the disassemblers, I've never had anything what I consider unstable. I'm probably just really lucky, and here I am knocking on some wood because I said something silly and put it out there in the world. But I've not had any, visual glitches outside of when I added Optifine and turned the game into a slideshow, because I'm not sure why. Ran out of fuel again because silly. But we are getting down low on the number of squid we're going to have to continue doing, so that's good news. Just need to keep these things fueled. Although if I just put tons of fuel in them, they'll use fuel in order to keep this purple bar completely full, even when it's going to take a while for it to drop back down. It just kind of wastes fuel. Although on the topic of charcoal, I've got lots of charcoal, so maybe the smart thing is to bring a whole bunch of charcoal down here and not worry about it. Although, no, the smart thing, I take that back. The smart thing is to use the Elementum. Make the Elementum, use the Elementum. It makes these much, much faster. That is the smart thing to do. And I hope this advanced alchemical furnace doesn't require a node with centivis or some silliness like that, because I've not gotten into that, and I don't know if I'm going to anytime soon. I probably do need to bite the bullet and just try to understand what centivis is and how to use the more advanced nodes and put them in jars and all of that jazz. I just haven't done all that yet. I suppose we can start looking at the Infernius. We're going to need the same amount, which is going to be 11 of these jars. So we can pull out 11 jars. we can pull out the Infernius that we've already got stored up. And we can fill up those jars. I'm doing this so I don't forget what I'm doing, because I'm quite good at that. If I don't bookmark things, if I don't label things, I will completely forget what I was doing, and I will go backwards, and that's part of the reason why I don't speedrun things, and I don't play things overly quickly, etc., etc. Go, furnaces, go. So it's not all of them filled up, but it is some of them filled up, which is nice. All the squid going away. I wonder if making a small amount of alimentum would speed up this process. I have the feeling that it would. Let's see here. I would need redstone and... do I have any potentia over here? Because that would make this easy. No, I do not. Do I have any Perdicio? I probably do. I have lots of Perdicio. Okay. So that spot isn't difficult. That part of that is not difficult, I should say. So as soon as I'm done with the Fammies, the squid, I will set up to have alimentum being made. Because that will save some time. Need to get a couple of those guys down here. And keep on top of these guys. And also grab that Perdicio and fill that guy up. Then it needs Ignis, which I probably got more than I can shake a stick at. At least that's my hope. Yeah, lots of Ignis. And then the Potentia will get out of some redstone here in a minute. And we'll probably need to go get more redstone in the near future. Because none of this has Potentia, right? Oh no, these do. Okay. So I could just use the coal dust. Well, let's take a look at this. 6 to 6 to 3. I should probably actually use the coal dust. That's the smart move. Or the charcoal, I suppose. The charcoal's probably even smarter. Yeah. Because that'll provide me with the Ignis and the Potentia. And I need them both for the Elementum, so good plan. Nine down, 2 to go. Is that 81% roughly? I'll go stack these up in where they need to be for the future. We're going to have practically, but not exactly, automatic crafting here in a little while. Which will be good. Just doing organization, because if I keep organized, I'll keep things on track better, I think. No, that one's almost full. So I guess we're getting close to 90%. Which will be nice. I'm actually going to let it drain out completely and actually try to math out the number of calamari that I totally need to finish things off. To try to not waste files, essentially. Since I just need the one more jar to be filled up, and it's already partially full. So I need 3 times what to fill the jar? To fill the jar, I would need 62, 3 per each, is 21-ish. Let's do the math on the original part of this, which was we're looking at Fammies, and it's 24 Fammies, 29 crafts. 29 crafts. And 24 is 696. 64. Okay, so this jar doesn't have to be totally full, so we need that 20-ish more. So we only need 10 in each of these. And we will be done. And then we'll store this calamari up eventually later. With the extra calamari. And yeah, I'm just going to let this jar fill up. Because that's the needed use to have the total of 11 over here ready to go for the infusion crafting. And then next we will burn charcoal with charcoal to get the aluminium going. Let's pretend that I'm going to need 16 aluminium today. And habits of pain in the neck, so I decided to lower the amount in the jar before I put it right back. Silly me. We might also need more files before this is over. Then again, we're getting some files back from making aluminium, so maybe we won't. I don't know. We'll see soon. We'd also get files back if we went and stored corpus in the soap making machine, so it might be faster than making... No. I think making new files would be faster, and then I'd have more files overall, which will be a good thing. Alright, the calamari is done. So once these are all done, we will be on to the charcoal. Charcoal gives 2 elements. So we'll need 2 jars. For that. And we're on an ad break. Where does the time go? And once again, I want to say thank you to the lurkers. Although I'm saying this in an ad break, which makes no sense whatsoever. Why am I so silly? Ad break ends soon. Yay for ads. We don't need them. But we got them anyway. Because everybody loves ads. Hey, it's working. Noisy, noisy apologies. Oh, right. The machine doesn't do anything if it doesn't have the right materials. Welcome back from those ads. I finished off the FAMIs, and I'm working on making the aluminium that I want to have for the rest of these jobs. So maybe it'll go faster. And once again, I want to thank the lurkers because I can. And why not? So I'm using up my essence in order to fuel the making of the alimentum, which makes the essence faster. I hope. And I said I wanted to have 16, so I'm hopeful that relatively quickly here we'll have those 16. Make the essence, pick up the essence, turn it into more fuel for later. Okay, so by the time this is done, we'll have the essences to make all 16 of them. Then we just need to try to utilize them in a useful manner. Oh, that's wrong. Thank goodness it didn't matter. Okay, these are empty. And these are empty. So these are done. And we can move on to the next material. These need to be put away. These can be put away. And finally, these also can be put away for later. We're done with the squid. We're done with the Fammies. We need to work on the Infernius, which is the netherrack. We're not going to be using the charcoal. We are going to be using the alimentum. Netherrack has 3 essences. We'll get those squishing down. I got 1 extra jar more than I needed, so we'll take care of that. The Ignis and the Terra. We'll be using the Terra later, but the Ignis will just store up. And the alimentum is actually much faster as far as fuels go, which is nice. Yeah, we won't be using nearly as much Terra because we only need 1/6 of the amount, but we will use up some of this Terra in the future. And then there'll be other crafts, I'm sure, that utilize them later on again. Yeah, the aluminum fuel runs for a long, long time, which is nice. Far superior fuel to charcoal for purposes of generating essence in the alchemical furnace. Alchemical. I said that right. If the numbers are correct, 4 down, we're 36% or so done, which is cool. This is going far faster than the last one. I would guess double, but that could be wrong. The fact that the fuel keeps working when I sometimes forget fuel, maybe even faster than that. Who knows? I do wish there was a better source of the Infernius that was inexpensive than the... So that's still relatively full. Than the Netherrack, but if there is such a thing, I don't know what it is. Most of what's in here is Terra, it seems. No, all of what's in here is Terra. We just got a lot of Terra. Get those burning again. More Infernius going. Fairly certain we're going to need more files at some point, which will mean going back to Skybase and building lots of them. I suppose I'll just set the rounds on Autocraft and then take a couple stacks and come back here. And then later on when I need more, I'll just go pick up the ones that have been made. If I'd thought about that beforehand, we'd be in a better shape. Better place. And yes, I could just void a bunch of this essence, but I'm avoiding doing that. Hey, 5 down. That's 45%, I think. Of course, that's 45% of the second aspect of the essences that we'll need. Although we need more of the first two aspects than the other ones. So when we get down to these other ones, it'll go even faster. And eventually then we'll start the actual infusion crafting, and then that will take a while too. Once again, this is all just a time investment to hopefully speed things up and make things easier in the future with the materials and tools that the Blood Magic mod provides for the user in New Horizons. What is this? Oh. That. I'm not going to worry about that. Twitch streamer that doesn't know how to Twitch stream. Doesn't understand what the Twitch tools are telling him. So 6 would be 54%. I suppose that means we're probably a quarter of the way done with the alchemical furnaces, roughly. Actually, probably more than that. but I can't give you percentages, you know, of these two, which are roughly 50, versus these ones, which are roughly 34, 50 versus 34, blah, 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 math. Someone could come up with the ratio of how far we are, but that someone is probably not me while streaming. Moving these jars over will save time in the future a little bit. I suppose I can also set up the materials that will be needed for the crafting. Although I'm gonna run out of files here shortly, and that will be aggravating. I suppose while I run out of files, I could prepare the earth jars 29 times 4, or terra jars. Well, this is going to be two jars. That's easy enough. And that'll get me some of those files back. I can say I'm done with that. We can go put these up. So we're what, 63% done roughly of the Infernius essence? Progress is being made. Slow progress, but that's kind of my progress. Very on brand, I suppose. Can go prepare the items. Which is reinforced bloodstones. Go here. And what's going to be pulled out is runes of sacrifice. That part's set up. This is getting low enough that I feel fine with refueling them. So we don't have any more delays on that front. Although maybe I should have held off because I'm going to be out of files, which means I'm going to be filling jars, which will be fun. Okay, so we don't want any more elementum to be used in the near future because we're just going to have a bunch of essence wasted. Well, not wasted, but forced to be stored in jars. Because we are going to be out here very soon. So, we'll pull some jars out, put those up here for temporary storage while we don't have files. temporarily give us some more files back. We are going to need to just, you know, undo that by getting more files to store more essences, but that's okay. Didn't count the number of files I was going to need. Didn't prepare properly. Maybe that's going to be enough. And this is all just temporary storage to hold them while I go make more files. One elementum does a lot of work, which is nice. Very, very nice. Hey, we're down to two remaining, which is like 81% done. If each one of those is one and I've only got 2 jars left, then I don't need over 2 stacks. In fact, I've got 2 stacks in there. Let's figure out how much I actually need and how much I actually have. Alright, so I need 16 more in here and 56 more in here. No, yes. That's roughly 72. Those don't have any really stored up. So... oh, the math is hard. Okay, he's full. That makes it easier. At least I think it makes it easier. 10, 11, 12. All right, 2. All right, those 2 are gone. 17. Oops. Okay. Extra earth in the system. Let's get a jar and take care of that. Because mistakes were made. We're leaving that in the jar. That jar is now empty. Hey, we got it right. Basic subtraction is something I can do, even when streaming. Surprise, surprise. Lots of Terra, lots of Terra. Which means that this is done. Can be put away. Okay, that was silly. Alright, what have I done here? In order to get this file full, we need to get that earth back. That Terra back. Earth being the wrong word. And we need to get rid of it. I'll just use a charcoal because charcoal is the cheaper version. Store those up. Clear this label, get rid of that. Put it away. Put it away. Put the files away, and then we're going to go make a bunch of files so that we can undo this mess. To the sky base. And get some silicone rubber, get the round maker. Get that going, leave these in our inventory to remind us what we need to do. We're also going to want to get some more glass, so that's going to mean going over here to the void base, going to applied energistics. And I think the most effective way to make glass is sand in an arc furnace, but I will have to look. Yes, sand in an arc furnace makes 2 glass. Really fast. Yeah, it is. So what sand do I have? I have a little bit of sand here. Actually, let's leave this sand here because a little bit's nice to have. Hello, hello to you, Rext. How's it going? New Horizons is going great. Let's see here. I want sand. Sand I keep at my HV automations area. That's cool. I don't know that pack. I suspect that's a pack. But Gregtech is all over the place, and that sounds like a fun pack. I also have not played that pack. Although I think I've talked to people who have, so it's a very similar to New Horizons sort of style, if I understand correctly. Yeah. Although Gregtech's the mod, right? Not the pack here. The pack here is New Horizons, which they make pretty impressively impressive. This is extra netherrack. Oh. Since I have those, I'm going to process them out. Just to process them. And then the glass needs to be made into the glass bottles, which requires making them into the crushed glass, and then pressing them back into bottles. Hey Shro, how's it going? Nice to see you. Rex says Monty is really fun. There are some things that I would personally change, but it's pretty awesome. Okay, cool. I'm going to be playing this for essentially ever because I'm really slow at it and maybe even bad at it. I've talked to people who are like a tenth of my time in and are essentially the same tech progression level where I'm at. So I like the idea of other packs, but that doesn't mean that I'm ever going to get there. By the time I finish New Horizons, I'm not sure that New Horizons will be the same game either. Want to test something, so I don't need to test it. I'm going to go with maybe ASCII. Maybe? It's going really well. How's it going with you, Shro? My first streams in what feels like forever and a day. Because things have been not great, and this weekend things are pretty good. So streaming, which is pleasant and nice and happy. I'm happy. I hear you're putting in the work right now too, which is good. Alright, let's make 3 stacks of files and see how far that gets us. Probably not as far as I'd like, but maybe far enough. Pretty great. Just wrapping up the first weekend of shows tonight. Yeah. So if you don't know, Shro is a professional dancer, and the best one that I've ever seen. Not that I'm any kind of knowledgeable person on professional dancers, but still the best one I've ever seen. He also streams quite a bit and does a lot of other fun stuff. Let's see here. Since I shouted out ASCII recently, I'm going to shout out Shro right now. And I will probably do some other shouting out later. But for right now, I'm going to be shouting out Shro. He's a good streamer. Shro, you got auto-modded. And it's because you're talking about reproductive things. Are you allowed to say that? I think you're allowed to say that. I don't have any of that fancy stuff like you do. I'm not nearly as good of a streamer as you. Shro does primarily, from my understanding, and I could be wrong, I'm wrong a lot, he does most of his time on Dragonfell. What? That's a swear? You're just killing it with Automod today, Shro. And yes, Automod called it a reproductive thing. I called it what Automod said. It used a different word for reproductive. I'm not going to use that word because I don't need those words in my stream when I'm talking. I'm a nice, family-friendly streamer. Let's go with that. And yes, it twinged off the word LMAOOOOO, so you laughing so much, it decided was cursing. And clearly we can't have anyone cursed here. That would be bad. I was trying to say nice things about Shro, so let's go back to doing that. Shro is a great streamer, like I was saying. He plays primarily on Dragonfell, where he runs around in his tidy whities most of the time and dances like a maniac. Or, well, maybe maniac's the wrong word. Dances like the best ever. Let's see if I can find something here. Is Twitch going to help me out here? There we go. This is just an emote of what he does on stream, so of course it's not the real thing. It's not even close. But when he's got his stanky leg going, it is really, really, really good. It's totally worth a follow and spending some time there watching and having some fun. Shro and his stanky leg are amazing. And his streams are pretty fun too. Oh, you gotta go? Okay, well, take your shout out and have a nice day. It was good to see you. And I'll catch you next time. As they say in your industry, I believe, break a leg for your dancing. I hope you have a lot of fun tonight. All right. We're done with Infernius. So that means we're into Potentia. Potentia, we need 18 at 29 equals 18 times 29. We need 522, which is how many jars? Which is 8 and a little bit of jars. So let's get 9. Those are void jars. Those are to be avoided right now. And one over here to store the extras. And we're going to be tearing up redstone. I estimated how much I'm going to need here. And these have 2 essences that make them up. So we'll put that there. And then we'll grab some of the alimentums. And we'll get the redstone going. Get those labels. And then let's do a more careful calculation on how much redstone we'll need here after we've got most of this done. Clicking the wrong stuff. Yeah, I looked for potentia earlier because I basically used up all my potentia making these alimentums, so I wouldn't have any stored. If I had any, it would be in this jar, and that's empty too. So there's none just hanging around. But we are 2 jars in. which is good. Two of the 9? Yeah, eight and less than a quarter. When chat is up and you're trying to walk, so you press E, and E. Always the best. Where are we at on time? Okay. I will absolutely admit to being a not great streamer in the aspect of I will lose track of time, and then ads will start running, and I will be like, oh, look at that little box there that I've been ignoring for 10 minutes. People had to watch ads again, and I didn't even tell them that they should go take a break and take care of themselves and get some water, maybe some food to eat, maybe go to the bathroom, maybe go say hi to people. Maybe, I mean, this one's a big maybe. Maybe go outside and touch some grass. Well, probably not that one. If you're going to touch grass, probably do it in Minecraft, right? Just touch the grass in Minecraft. It's safer. More responsible, maybe. Won't get you in trouble with the various authorities out there. Over half done with this one pretty quickly. Alright, we set up these. There are other items to set up. That's these guys. So let's get looking at that. This is going to need 2 and 2 and 4. So 2 of these. This one and this one. 2 of these. I'll go back over here, clean up the jars. Hope that they haven't overflowed because that would be annoying. And then 4 of this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're almost getting to the point where we're going to be able to start the crafting. We just have the precantatio to go, which is nice. All right. I guess there's no going backwards, so we're going to have too much potentia. That's okay. We'll use Potentia to make more Alimentum because I've already got that as a plan. It'll be utilized. It'll just be extra for now. So this is extra, and this is extra, and that can go in the bag to be put away later. Although doing 6 more makes a lot of sense to make this nice and storable. And we'll use up charcoal to do this. Actually, for speed, we'll use a couple charcoals. Just so this goes quick. And that will put the remainder of the machina in there, and I will have a nice clear stack of machina. Oh, you're a victim off yesterday's ad? Does that mean you got to eat some yummy food? I hope that means you had yummy food and not something worse. Those are done. Those are done. Okay. So we will... This needs to be roughly a quarter filled, which is there. And then this will probably start working again. Yeah, this is working again. Perfect. Need some more Infernius. No, not Infernius. We need some more Ignis. We might need some more Perdicio. Just gonna use up the rest of this essence. The extra Potentia that I've got. This also frees up some more files, which is nice. And makes more Alimentum. All good things. Guilty? How can you be guilty of eating yummy food? Unless you feel like you did something wrong. I mean, I don't think you did something wrong. You shouldn't think you did something wrong. I don't believe you should think you did something wrong. After all, the advertisements are advertisements. And they will get you. Alright. Done with Potentia. This jar can be put up where it belongs. And we just have the Precantatio to go. Let's take a look at that. We got the earth. We got the redstone. The imbued slate is only there because mistakes. Looking at 12 times 29. Did I? Yeah, I did that right. Okay. And then we're going to divide that by 64 to get the number of jars, which is 5.5 jars. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. And then blaze powder has 3 essences, I'm pretty sure. Yes. So 1, 2, 3. We'll put the jars up. We'll grab... Oh, we've got the Alimentum. What am I doing? Oh, let's calculate how much blaze powder we actually need before we start, because it's going to go quick. Each blaze powder is 4, and we need 348, so... Oh, do we need that many, or do we have some stored? Do we have Precantatio? Well, that's weird. Usually this sorts by number. Okay, we do not have any extra Precantatio, so we need 384. Equals 384. No, 348. There's my Lysdexia kicking in there. That's nice. 87. So 80 and 7. In Minecraft, getting to 80 is really easy because you can do a stack and a quarter stack and have 80. Let's try to make these roughly equal. And then we'll put them into the furnaces and give them some fuel. And start the process one final time. Oh, with labels. Now this instrumentum, I'm just going to immediately store in these jars above. Instrumentum is used for repairing things, so it's kind of a special case. All this extra Ignis we're going to store, and the precantatio we're going to prepare to have for our infusion crafting. So, did you have something good? Did you enjoy it? Oh, nice. I'll have to catch that stream here here shortly, ASCII. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to be streaming until I have my Pathfinder game here in the afternoon. So I'll probably watch your stream tonight, is my guess. And on that note, let's do this. Go ahead and follow ASCII with me. He's a really chill streamer. He's really cool. He does about 10 times as much in his stream as I do because he's really much better at the game than I am, in my opinion. He also makes pretty buildings. I don't know if he's doing that in his Garden of Grind playthrough, but he certainly does it in his hardcore worlds. Unless the sheep get to him. If the sheep mafia get to him, he does not make pretty buildings. So as long as he's avoiding the sheep mafia, he makes beautiful buildings and does a lot of progress in every stream, especially as compared to someone like me. So go ahead and give him a follow and watch his streams. I will be watching his stream later tonight after I do this stream and then after I do my Pathfinder game with family and friends. So that should be fun. Should be a lot of fun to watch that stream. Garden of Grind is... it's a whole nother beast, and I'm not even sure how it works or if it works. I've seen some people play it. I've seen some people get further than me, as in beyond EV/on Mars, however you want to think about it. I kind of try to play the game blind, so what I consider spoilers, I don't watch. I've been told that this game has essentially been solved. Here is the optimal path you can take, and it's like, yeah, well, it's a game. I'm going to figure it out myself because that's the purpose of a game, in my opinion. And maybe I'm just an old man who doesn't really understand the world, and I'm okay with that. Because I can do things differently. Salt in your wounds. I would have had no idea about the sheep if you hadn't shared it. I would have had no idea about the sheep mafia if you hadn't told me. So I don't think it's salt in the wounds. I think you're sitting there laughing your little head off at the idea of the sheep mafia. Then again, that's my take on things. Maybe I'm just a jerk. I could see that. Exactly, woolly bullies. Said here best by System. System being a man of many talents. Streamer, video game producer, author. Got a Renaissance man in the chat here. Gotta watch out. Wonder if I'm going to need another one of these. It's nice to have all this extra instrumentum for repairing things, such as flight potions, swords, armor, you know, things you go around the world with. But we are close to getting done because we needed roughly 5.5 of these, and we've got 3.5 made. That's 4 out of 5.5. Unlike when I was dividing by 9, I am not going to be able to come up with the percentages on this one. I'm just going to say over half. And I left a jar behind. We are practically there. Let me guess. Yep, the Elementum ran out. Let's get them going again. We won't need any more, so we can put them away. We can put this Ignis away. And now it's sorting it accurately. It just needed that extra Ignis to fix things. Good, good, good. Getting close. This jar's almost full, then this one needs to be half full. Only just a little bit left to go. I like it. And we're not going to run out of files because we have enough. Well, I suspect we have enough. Once again, I'll be knocking on wood because maybe I said something I shouldn't have. Let's go with hope not. Alright, this jar is complete. Put it away. Get stuck in my own build. When I rebuild this, I will build it so that there's a floor on top of things and I can walk on a nice smooth surface without all the extra mob heads, player heads, etc. These need to be in there. These need to be out of there. All right. Empty-ish. Emptying. Empty, empty. Which means this can go over here with him. And that will take care of it. Then that's enough. Put that up. And then 2 extra Ignis. Okay. I suspect... Well, I don't have enough to make a full file, so let's just drop that there. Drop that there, take care of it. I'll crystallize those, put those away. Put those guys away. Put the Ignis away. Get the wand out. And we can start doing some craftings here. Let's verify the setup. We've got 2 of the Tenebrae. We've got 4 of the imbued slates. We've got 2 of the Insenium. We've got our reinforced blood state in the middle. Our runes of sacrifice should be good to go. And we're on ad. Okay. I guess I'll say all that again, because... So when it says ad break in progress, and it also says your community is back, and the ads just are confusing me. What does that mean? It means that I'm a poor streamer and I don't do well with warning people that ads are coming, and I don't let them know that they should take a break and they should get up and stretch and go do something, because I don't want them to watch the ads. I don't want the ads to be played in the first place, and Twitch doesn't care what I want, and ads are just a fact of life. Someone's got to pay for the streaming, I suppose, or the bandwidth. It'd be nice if it was us that could pay for the bandwidth directly, and what I'd like to see is Twitch, but completely decentralized. So instead of me sending my video to Twitch and then Twitch sending it to you guys, how about we have me sending it to 2 or 3 people, and those 2 or 3 people sending it to the other 2 or 3 people each, and then there's no ads because no one's paying for bandwidth, there's no one paying for re-encoding, etc., etc., etc. Of course, that won't work when it comes to clients that are on mobile, because you're not going to be able to have mobile transmit data back out, or actually that's not true, because you can stream from your phone, so you should be able to send a stream to other people in chat, or other viewers, or however you want to think about that. Why did Twitch make their model the way they did? Why didn't they do it in a way that it was decentralized, and all that the Twitch had to do was, you know, host the chat, which would be essentially free, and then host the tracking information so that people can send each other data? I guess I'm just on a rant here, and I probably shouldn't be. I'm glad I'm here on Twitch with you guys. I wish Twitch was nicer and better and didn't have ads. I suppose that we could have Twitch without ads if all of us were willing to pay the, what is it, $15 a month or something that they're asking for Twitch Turbo? I don't know. $15 a month seems like a lot of money compared to the bandwidth fees that are going to be incurred for what I do. I suppose that means that... I don't know what that means. Well, yeah, the nightmare would be a pain in the neck to making the setup working. But if you had it to be a completely automated system, I mean, okay, so going through like the idea of BitTorrent or something like that, where all of the information is shared equally and in a meaningful manner, and you don't have to have a centralized bandwidth provider, it really wouldn't be that bad once the back end was set up properly. In fact, it'd probably be a lot less work to maintain than Twitch, because while you might have more glitches in streams where it would be like a cutout for a second or less than a second, the system would be more robust in that, you know, if one thing failed, there'd be already 5 other things going, so you'd have lots of redundancy. And you know, as soon as your tracking of provider 14 of your stream data went down for any amount of time, you would immediately ask 15 for that same data. I don't know. It wouldn't solve when streamers themselves go down, of course, because nothing's going to solve that. But we already have that problem, so that's not a problem that I need to worry about. It would put some delay in streams. That being said, the internet is really, really, really fast. Like, shockingly fast. I don't know. I just play my video games and do my work, and I know a thing or two, but those things may not be useful. And now that I'm actually thinking about it, you wouldn't even need the chat service to be centralized necessarily, because you could have multi-homing on that as well, where the streamer would be the primary nexus for the chat, and then much like chat relays, you could just have the viewers that are in the stream be the relays for that as well, so the streamer wouldn't have to provide all the bandwidth for that either. So you wouldn't even need Twitch to, you know, control the chat, so to speak. You would just need the chat to be essentially signed so that it wasn't changed after it left the streamer's PC. You could do Twitch with good programming in one server, I think, and almost no bandwidth, because all that would really be required is, hey, this is where you can get the list of streamers that are currently live. Here's the signed information to connect to them. And then you would go out to one of those trackers, you would get the information for the streamers that are currently live, your signature from the server would check against the signatures that the data that was downloaded from the trackers, and you would have all of that information at your fingertips, and then you'd have all that list of streamers that was maintained by that one server, but then the distribution of that content in real time would be provided by a outside system that wasn't necessarily, the centralized system. Well-coded systems could do what Twitch does for, in essence, free, but that wouldn't make Twitch any money, and you wouldn't need advertisements, so no one would do that. I mean, it certainly seems like, let's not insult our overlords, but let's say Hefe. Hefe ain't gonna do that. I wonder if we could, beg someone else to do it. I don't know. It would have to be somebody with deep pockets because, like I said, the coding would have to be really good. It might even have to be really good coding that was then also open source so that people would trust it. I don't know. You would need someone to create something that would be valuable. You would probably be able to get money based on that because, let's say the streamers are willing to donate a portion of their revenue to the service, because it's a good service, not because the service requires them or takes in the money first and then distributes that to the streamers. I suspect I'm just going off on poor Twitch for no good reason. And it's not like there are really great alternatives to Twitch right now. I know that there are some other companies in the space. I'm not going to mention names. That would be rude to Twitch. I'm on Twitch. I like being on Twitch. The reason I like being on Twitch is the people. So I'm not going to tell people to leave Twitch while I'm enjoying the community on Twitch, if that makes sense. I do wish Twitch was better. I wish that Hefe would make Twitch better. I don't think he's going to. I don't think he wants to. I think the let's push turbo, let's push ads is probably the mindset that makes the shareholders salivate. There's my TED Talk. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I will say that this is going to be my final hour of streaming. I set an alarm for roughly 45 minutes from now. At that point, I'm going to raid into somebody. I don't know necessarily who yet. But I really hope this gets done quickly and we can go build a pyramid before that happens. We're done with 10 and we have 19 to go. We have 45 minutes. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get something done today. That being said, my brand is slow and sometimes I surprise myself with how slow things are going. Unfortunately. They say something about slow but steady, but I'm not sure they're necessarily correct. I will say that it is nice to have this infusion crafting essentially automated. I don't know how to have, something hit the runic matrix with a wand. Maybe a open computer robot could do that. I don't know. An open computer with a redstone switch on the side of it probably could do it. I think I could design it with a turtle, but I don't think turtles are in this pack. There have been mechanical users that I know I could do it with. Don't think those are in this pack. Maybe there's something in the quest book that shows you how to do it when you get into the thaumic energistics. or the mix between Thaumcraft and Applied Energistics. I don't know. It's one of those would be nice to haves. Don't currently have. Once you've got Applied Energistics storing all your essence, you can keep your essence, you know, right next to your crafting area, so it soaks up the essence maybe faster. Maybe these can be pushed in a little closer, the pedestals that are holding the items. Maybe that would make it craft faster. I don't know. I set something up. It's not the best looking thing in the world, but it is functional, and that's really what counts for me. I will be moving this into the Void world at some point, but not today. Today is for moving blood magic into the Void world, I hope. $12 down, 17 to go. And yes, I imagine that there is some guide out there that says, hey, this is how you automate this, and this is the way to do it. And I don't want that, because either I want to figure it out myself, or I want it to be part of the progression that's listed in the quest book, which is kind of figuring it out yourself, but not really. I suppose I should remind people that if there's anything that they're interested in that I have done in game, I'd be happy to share whatever that thing is. I suspect most people who have played Gregtech have automated most of the things I've automated. For example, silicone rubber and polytetrafluoroethylene and tungsten and lithium, all those fun things. But if anyone's curious and they want to see something that I've automated, I'd be happy to show them what I've done. Not everyone wants to play the game blind like I do, and on top of that, I've done things that are a little weird because of my basically playing this blind. I started off watching another streamer play this. He did not finish the pack. I don't think he got really beyond Steam much, if he got beyond Steam. I'd have to go watch the videos to be sure, but after watching him start it, it was like, hey, I want to play this. So I downloaded it, I got it installed, and I started playing and ran into problems with, immediately I ran into problems with how fast the game played. And then, of course, I learned that CurseForge is not the place to get the pack, so I then downloaded it from the other source, from the, where the wiki links to things. And once I got it that way, performance was a little better, but not great. So I read about how to play it and a server-client split, and moved the server half of it onto my cluster in my garage, and that really fixed the performance in a big way. And so now I'm getting pretty good frames, and the ticks per second stay 20-ish, almost always. The server is at the point where I've got so many chunks loaded that it sometimes does have lower, really good 20 for short amounts of time, but that's why I'm moving to the Void World. Once I'm in the Void World, I don't think I'll have any of those issues. I could probably also move the server from the cluster that it's in my garage into my local PC, because my local PC is pretty quick. But I like the backups, I like the fact that I have it on a server, I like that I can access it with my laptop, etc, etc, etc. So I'm gonna leave it on the server for now, on the cluster. Leave the server, the Minecraft server, on my cluster in my garage, which is currently hosting 2 copies of Gregtech, which is fun. Especially when I learned that Linux is a much, much better host for Minecraft Java version servers than Windows is, because you can have Windows hosting the same exact instance of Gregtech New Horizons for, you know, half the resources that Windows would use. Linux uses like half the resources or less of the server performance, so CPU, RAM, etc., which is just, it's mind-blowing. Because it's the same processor, Java is the same language. I can't imagine that the JRE, the Java runtime environment, is that different. Why is Windows using so much more processor, so much more memory than it's not Ubuntu, it's, oh my goodness, why don't I know what my own servers are running? Debian. My Minecraft hosts are running Debian right now. $11 more to go. And half an hour of stream. Maybe I'll just take the ones I have and start building. That might be worth it. I can always come back to do the rest of the infusion crafting later, and then I'll have built something on stream. That is what I'm going to do. I'll leave 10 for building later. I'll grab my 19 and I will take them and I will go build my new blood magic altar. I'm going the old way. I want to go the new way. Okay, so how big is this thing? It is... It is a square that is this big. Is that 23 by 23? It is 23 by 23. Alright, let's go to the void. All right. Grab our torches. We're going to start on this level. And how do I teleport to other places? Oh, okay. In the Blood Magic mod, there are teleposers. They're not teleporters, they're teleposers because they're posers. They use, I think, 10,000 life essence per click. They're in the quest book, in my version. They may not be in your quest book in the newer version. Paying the highest price. They're right here. Easy teleportation. They may be a pain to craft, but teleposers are very useful for teleporting. Use the teleposition focus to set the first teleposer location and put it in the second. Apply a redstone signal and it'll teleport you at the cost of LP. You could also move items and entities with the size increasing with better foci. The size increasing with this better foci. I only need the 1x1, so I only made the smallest ones. So if we then look at blood, and then we search for teleposers, you make these, and then these focuses, this one's a 1x1, I think this is 3x3, I think this is 5x5 and 7x7, and it moves everything in a area above the teleposer. Teleposers are made from a teleposition focus, tungsten steel, ender shards, and rose gold, along with your orb to do the orb crafting. Also some potentia. The teleposition focus is made similarly with orb crafting, with some weak blood shards, a frame, and another ender shard. The frame is made from obsidian braces, magicals, more blood shards, and your orb, and some obsidian braces. Might have said that twice. The obsidian braces are made from slates and plates, and your orb, and a stone brace, more slates, more plates, wooden brace, more slates, more plates, and then the oldest or the earliest slate. I have a blood magic life essence gathering array with various coven witches and a well of suffering. And what I'm actually making now is a new version of that in the void out here, where I've got a chunk loader set up on top, and I'm going to be setting more of it up. So my 23x23 is going to start here. All right. And then it would be fun to use the bound pick, but it would really make a mess. So I'm going to use my hammer. And you'll see that my pyramid is full of concrete here in a minute. But that's okay. But yeah, the typical way people teleport, if I understand the normal way of playing, is that they use slash warp. But I'm not using slash warp because that's just not part of the base game. You have to install an extra mod to get that. And I'm unwilling to play with features that other mods bring in. I'm trying to play the base game as it was installed originally. Because I'm strange. And yeah, the slash warp command makes it much easier. But I'm not looking for easy, I'm looking to play the pack as it was downloaded originally. Come on now. Yes, I probably could use a flight potion and maybe make this faster, but I'm really not used to using flight potions. So it's not the first thing, second thing, or third thing I think of. I just kind of go. Unless I have to use a flight potion and it's like, oh yeah, I have those. But this is going to work, I think. And maybe I should have planned this out before. Good morning, how are you? How's it going, Astral Violet? I'm doing really well. Just playing some video games. Probably going to be finishing up here at my stream in about half an hour. If you can imagine that. I really am trouble. I want to get this pyramid built, or this altar built. So I'm focusing in on my deconstruction of the side of my pyramid here. I'm trying to watch chat, but I'm not going to promise that I'm doing a very good job of watching chat. That would be silly. Whoops. That was silly. Time for a flight potion, I think. And yes, I'll fix all the brickwork in post, essentially. Let's start building up a pyramid here. And yeah, measuring with torches is my go-to way of doing things because it's what works for me most of the time. I suppose going and looking at the other one's going to be the fastest for me. Oh look, it's raining. Won't be raining inside though, so that's not a big deal. It also won't be raining in the void world, so even more of a less of a big deal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll go with 8. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then I have a altar. That goes there. And then the earliest runes go around it. And we're going to use runes of augmented capacity. And now I need to look at a picture because I don't think the book tells you this. I'm willing to look. Let's see here. There's the altar. Yeah, it doesn't show how you do it. It does say 23 by 23. Let's do this. Alright, so it's a 7x7 and it's one block out. So we will use the bricks. Then we'll use a few of these per side. And we will add in sacrifice runes to make up the difference. Then we'll use some more bricks as base bricks. Then we need the blood-soaked thaumium. And we need some glowstone. Which I thought I had. Oh, good. And if we're doing things right, this will tell me it's a tier 3 altar. Nice. Tier 4 requires much the same. Will just fall out of the sky. Can't see chat. Can see chat. I'll probably reinforce underneath of this with concrete again, but not right now. Okay, and then the corners are like so. Wait, that's not right. Yes, it is. No, it's not. That's right. Okay, and then we need more runes. And I have more runes coming, but for now I'm just going to put a bunch on this side, and I'll worry about evening them up later. I've got some blank ones here, which I plan on using. And then I'll reuse these once I've got the other 10 set up here on other places. And I'm going for a tier 4 altar right now. Wow. Block placement. Can we do it? No, we can't. Alright. And like I said, we'll replace some of those with the Runes of Sacrifice in the future. Then we need these and these. Now that should be a tier 4 altar. It is. Nice. Then, on top of that, how close does the Well of Suffering need to be? Within 10 blocks of the Blood Altar. So this is not where I wanted them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So then we're going to build a little platform up here. And then we're going to put our master rune down. And then I need my rune tools, which I don't have on me. So let's go get them. We're going to need the crystal and the... This is a... I can't think of the name of this little doodad. It is a ritual diviner. What's a dynamic mace? Interesting. No recipe, but I want to know what it is. Oops, I fell. Alright, so Ritual Well of Suffering. We need 36 stones. I have 36 stones. Stand on top. Build the ritual. Okay. Okay. Well, there you go. Let's fix this. Let's fill in some blocks. Yeah, no kidding, Magic. I'm gonna place blocks when you're not even doing it. Because you clicked before and then I buffered up a whole bunch of clicks. Let's get that thing off my hot bear before it does something horrible. So I'm going to build the primary structure out of bricks, and then I'm going to put glass on top of it to make it purty. Or something along those lines. And I'll go along underneath the bottom here in a minute to catch anywhere I've missed. Alright, that's the primary structure. I missed there. I missed... I didn't miss much. That's cool. Okay. I think I do want to bring these out one. And yeah, none of these blocks are necessary, I know that. But hovering blocks annoy me. Probably end up doing something else here in the future, but for now, this is good enough. Get on the ground. And I'm well aware that underneath of me is void, so it's not like this is really supported by anything. But in Minecraft, nothing's supported by anything, so yeah, whatever. I have the illusion for myself. And the illusion's enough. Okay. Put some corners on this. Then we will look at the ritual to make sure it's set up correctly. And yes, it is. So if there were people here, or excuse me, if there were mobs here, the ritual would be causing them damage and drawing their life essence into that little guy down there. I don't think I have anything besides a horse, and I'm not willing to kill my horse in order to operate the ritual. The mace is an okay weapon that you craft through magic. Oh, of course. Okay. And that's the alarm I was telling you guys about that's going to say that we're going to have ads soon, but before we have ads, I'm going to call the end of stream. I need to fix this up and make it look nice. Because right now it looks really bad. And I have no problem with saying that. But I did actually make some progress on the concept of having a blood magic altar in the void. And it's got the ritual set up above it. I've got more runes of sacrifice to build and to install. I've got a lot of cleanup to do here. I'm going to build the brickwork up to it. I'm going to set up a way to extract life essence from the altar. I'm going to build in some essentially standby bricks for, not bricks, standby blocks for where the new runes are going to go. And if I stream next weekend, which I hope I will, I should have this up and running by then with a bunch of coven witches up here providing essence. And then I will be able to take my other blood altar offline and move it to this side of the pyramid. So I'll have my primary over here and my secondary over here. This one will end up being full size. This one over here will not be full size. And then I'll put a tiny little one over here in this corner. I'm going to put in brickwork for all of this once I get this set up properly. It'll be more and less at the same time. I'm going to put in some glass around this, probably out and maybe 3 tall on the outside. And then we'll put our coven witches in where they can enjoy the time with the well. My volunteers need to come to the well to provide me with magical essence. That's what the coven witches are for. They're part of my coven. They're just helping out. Actually, most of them aren't going to be part of my coven. Or maybe most of them will, because I've got the one glitched witch who is definitely part of my coven. It's all rather confusing, actually. At any rate, that's the last of the things I'm going to do today. I want to thank everybody who's been here. I especially want to thank the lurkers and the other streamers who were here that I really like watching their streams. We did some shout outs to let those people know, or let everyone know to follow those people. Wow. Words are not my strong suit today. Okay, it did not even warn me. Who do I want to raid? Who do I want to raid? I want to raid him. We are gonna raid Kai Guy. I wonder what happens if you raid while you're on ad break.